Dr. Karunanayake, now tell us a little bit about ANC and its operations here in Sri Lanka.
Well, ANC was set up as with a vision statement of being the first choice for education in Sri Lanka. We've always persevered to have very high quality education with very high quality partner institutions, and we are proud to say that we are the only institution in the country that deals with top 100 world ranked universities and offering their programs in Sri Lanka. ANC started in 2002, so we are about 11 years old now. And we can say that we are the only true education conglomerate because we, under our association of schools and colleges and university programs, we have from preschool all the way to postgraduate education. It has several segment and companies under it, where ANC, as you know, is the one that provides all the higher education needs as well as the post-secondary education is provided by Vichali and St. Nicholas. And preschool education is provided by MMI, which is a subsidiary organization within the education cluster. And also we've got into IT training with NetAssist, and also student placement, especially in the medical arena with Path A Study Medicine. So actually we are looking at expanding as an education conglomerate. We are very sector specific. Today we have over 6,000 to 7,000 students and about 500 employees, both academic and non-academic, under our portfolio. So in a sense, we are becoming an education conglomerate in the country.
What are your thoughts on the higher education industry in Sri Lanka?
I think the higher education industry on the whole can improve, both private and state. I believe that the right type of direction is being made by the present government to have a quality assurance and an accreditation process, both for state and non-state under the same platform. I welcome this view because this will only enhance the level of quality and the delivery. I'm very concerned about the mushrooming institutions that are appearing all over the place in the country, awarding various types of degrees. I believe I'm against this. I believe I welcome the efforts of the government to set up a education quality framework. ANC as a whole complies with American, Australian and British education quality frameworks because we deliver their programs according to their standards. So we believe that we can definitely meet these requirements that the government will set and actually go beyond. So we are very familiar with this quality assurance framework that is being set up because we get audited on an annual basis.
Now, in terms of infrastructure and policies and such, what is lacking in the industry?
Well, what is lacking is a clear direction and a clear mandate. I believe infrastructure is very important, and when I look at education and becoming a hub of Asia or hub of South Asia, we have to look at our peers, and when I say peers, we have to look at Malaysia. So we have to look at the role that the government played in the infrastructure development of the Malaysian institutions. So I guess highways, specific zones, tax incentives, all these are there. But the one big thing that everyone has missed, and I believe everyone has missed, is that faculty is limited. And so it's nice to say, okay, we'll have a education zone 50, 60 miles away, but end of the day, you need the faculty to deliver these programs. And I don't believe the faculty that is confined to areas like Colombo, Kandy are going to move to these regions because there's no incentive for these faculty members to move. And also you must understand one thing is that we, private and public, we share the faculty. And that's how ANC has survived. And we have a lot of faculty members who are teaching both in the local system and at ANC, but obviously we handpick the ones that do, and they all have PhDs from foreign institutions. So I believe that giving education zones or tax incentives, but we have to be closer to either the major metropolises to attract the best faculty, because as you know, some of the other faraway institutions, both local and private, are running into trouble. I don't need to talk about this.
Where would you like to see the industry in, say, let's say the next 10 years or so?
Well, I would like to see in the next 10 years where Malaysia is presently. I think we are 15 years behind Malaysia. If you go to Malaysia and to see the level of institutions that have been set up, the quality of the institutions. I think Malaysian government made the change in 1996 to adapt what the present Sri Lankan government is trying to do. But they were consistent, and all governments that followed were consistent in the policies. And today Malaysia has a thriving education hub of South Asia with some of the best universities, Monash, Nottingham, and many institutions having been set up, including their local institutions getting private university status. Now, I'm not saying that local universities should be given private university status, but if it does meet the requirements and the standards, it should be. After all, only 3% of our age cohort, both O-levels and A-levels, are getting into university, and there is a brain drain, and we need to stop that. And it's billions and billions of rupees going outside the country, so I believe this money can be retained, and the government needs to look at it from that standpoint to incentivize the local both state and private institutions to build institutions, probably provide low-cost loans or dollar loans at low interest rates, because the biggest expense in education is infrastructure. If you look at land today in Colombo or infrastructure costs, it's huge. So to tax the education sector is I don't think which is trying to help the growth of the country, is a very good thing.
The plans for ANC's future?
Well, ANC is very specific in what it wants to do. We are a niche player. As far as ANC is concerned, we believe that we will be about a university of a size of about 2,000 students, highly niche. What I want ANC graduates to have under their repertoire is to be the highest earning graduates in the country. So this is my personal ambition for our graduates, and presently the average starting salary of an ANC graduate is about 70,000 rupees. If you take the national average, this is many multiples more, and 99.9% of the ANC graduates are employed within the first 6 months. So this is my ambition for ANC graduates, and why I do this is to make sure that the graduates that we put out have a good future, a better future than they would otherwise. In terms of ANC, we have plans to modernize our infrastructure. So we are going to make strategic investments in developing the infrastructure. We've taken, we have about 100,000 square feet of built up area in the heart of Colombo, which is in Colombo 3 on Lubrication Road. So we don't see ourselves moving away from this model, because end of the day, kids want the same thing anywhere in the world. They want to live in a metropolis, and Colombo is going to become that over the next 5 years. They want to go to the movies. They want to be able to go to Odell, or and they want to have a city life. So you have to pick between two campus models. You take Peradin, it's a fantastic, beautiful environment, and it's a true campus. But then you take an institution like ANC, it's a city campus that also provides a lot of those opportunities, as well as internship opportunities for students and so on and so forth. So we're going to improve the infrastructure here to a world-class standard. I believe that this 100,000 square feet that we have is going to be built up to match any of the top world universities, and that's our investment. The other thing is that we are looking at bringing opportunities from the top 100 universities in the world. And I think if you look at the world rankings, ANC is the only school in the country that offers accredited programs at this particular ranking. And our students consistently transfer to also top 100 schools all over the world. So this is the thing. So we are not a mass player. We will never have 10,000 students at ANC, but the 2,000 that we will have will be in that top echelon of academic quality, academic rigor, and also student outcomes in terms of wages and opportunities. Most of our students get hired by the top multinationals as management trainees. Within 3 years, they're managers earning very lucrative salaries, and that is our objective. Every institution has different objectives. Ours is to play that niche market role. In terms of other, because we're a conglomerate as a group, We are looking at every possible sector. We do believe that the international school sector is very interesting. We already have 2 schools with about 3,000 students under us, and this only started about 3 years ago. So we're getting very aggressive in that sector. It's a very stable sector, and we want to grow in that sector. And also, we believe that there are emerging markets of student placement opportunities, because I think about 10,000 students go abroad every year to the developed world, and another 10,000 to, I would say, the second tier countries for education like China, Russia, India, Bangladesh. So we want to play a role in that, and also in preschool. So essentially, have a complete conglomerate situation. As a CEO, you want to manage your risk and not put all your eggs in one basket. And also the synergies that you build and the strength that you build is huge when you have such a conglomerate. And in 11 years we've got to this point, and I think the hard work is still ahead, but the initial phase of a company, which is the initial startup phase, is beyond, and we've come to now a middle level company. And I think in the country, we are holding a very, very high position.
A hotel sector expert recently claimed that the lack of trained staff is the single largest threat faced by the hospitality trade in Sri Lanka. Now, in your opinion, how can this issue be tackled?
Well, I agree completely, because I believe that there's so many hotels being built, but without the trained manpower. In any organization, manpower is key. ANC would not be ANC without the kind of the people that is involved in running it alongside me. So yes, I agree that the manpower is an issue. I believe that it needs to be addressed, but again, it needs to be addressed by academic training or vocational training. Again, what is important in this academic training and vocational training is to get people from industry, and sometimes not from Sri Lanka, and from Malaysia, from India, from Dubai, from Europe, whatever you can, because you need the trainers to be experienced in career-oriented, practical, delivery when it comes to hospitality. Because hospitality is a practical trade. It's not a rocket science trade that you need to really memorize. And so the one thing we have to focus on is to get people who have actually worked in the industry, both locally and internationally, to deliver the programs. The worst thing that we can do is to get theoretical people who've never been inside a hotel delivering the programs. Because if you do this is worse than actually giving any side of training, because practical aspects in the work field is lacking. Graduates lack the practical problems that normal day-to-day life operationally you face, and you need people with that type of expertise delivering a program. So in our case, we are hiring people. Our faculty will have both academic and practical experience. If they do not have the practical experience, I don't think they should be teaching these type of students, because after all, we're not trying to teach rocket science here. It's an art, and the art can only be taught by people who have actually practiced it. That's my personal opinion.